It's live, Dr. Bas. You can start.
Yeah. Yeah. So, good evening, friends. It's a real honor for National Insurance Academy to organize this webinar with India Insurtech Association, and this is our fourth webinar, and on the topic of digital innovation in MSME insurance. And friends, you know today that MSME sector is one of the fastest growing sector and contributing to over 37% growth in the Indian economy. And we have more than 700 million the MSME industries in the country, and they provide over 11 crores the people employment, and they are in every sector, and they are really providing. They are the auxiliary units providing the raw material support, providing the various supplies and requirements, and also manufacturing the products of various kinds. And very sure that their insurance requirements are totally different, and particularly at a time where the industry was affected hugely by the recent pandemic, the COVID 2019, and for last 2 years, it was one of the industry which was affected most, and they really suffered from the financial issues, and insurance is one such tool which can really provide a risk mitigation of their financial requirements, and the way that we need to look at the insurance also, particularly for customizing the products to the requirements of the MSME would be different from the other kind of manufacturing sector. That's why this particular topic is of very, very important. And when we talk of digital solutions, we have a lot of companies. We have more than 300 Insurtech companies in India. They are working in the various digital phase, including the data management, cloud service, artificial intelligence, blockchain technologies. So they are the innovators, and really they are propelling the innovation. They're propelling the accessibility and the product customization and the service customization to the insurance industry. So this time we are going to talk about both how the digital innovation is really going to transform the insurance industry to the particularly to take care of the needs of the MSME. So we have at this time with us our Director, National Insurance Academy, G. Srinivasan sir. Sir is well known in the insurance industry. He has over 41 years of experience, and one of the longest serving the CMD of the Indian insurance sector. He was for 11 years two of the largest the general insurance companies, public sector companies, CEO, and he was also CEO in various other countries, including Trinidad and Tobago, and was in the board of the insurance companies in Singapore and various other countries. And sir has been the advisor to government as well as to IRDA on various insurance related matters. He is currently our director and taking a lot of initiatives. And then we have Mr. Prirek Sethi with us. Mr. Prirek is currently serving as the co-founder of India Insurtech Association, and he is also a founder and director of RIA Insurance. He is the founder of the company, and apart from that, he has been really driving the insurance business under the broking sector, and also really now initiating various the activities under the India Insurtech Association, wherein he is bringing together both insurers and the insurtech companies and the fintech companies into a forum, and wherein they really can collaborate each other. So thank you, Mr. Prerak, for being with us. And we have three of our speakers. We have Mr. Vikas Anand. Mr. Vikas is currently CEO of Safetree Insurtech company. And Mr. Vikas is originally a chartered accountant, and he has over 22 years experience, both in the serving the insurance sector as well as financial sector, India and abroad. And he had earlier worked in EY and HSBC. He was also in UK, looking into the fintech solutions there. Currently, he's doing a lot of innovation, digital innovation in the Safetree. We will hear from him a lot during the interaction. And then we have Mr. Hemant Luthra. Hemant Luthra is Associate Director and Head of the Commercial Business of Edelweiss Insurance Company. And Mr. Hemant has over 16 years of experience in the insurance industry. Earlier to Edelweiss, he had worked in ICICI Lombard for about over 12 years, where he handled the commercial business segment. And he has been doing a lot, particularly with the micro segment and as well as the MSME segment insurance requirements. Then we have Mr. Ravi Ranjan. Mr. Ravi Ranjan is currently with the Bhaskar Insurtech company, and he is graduated from IIT Roorkee. He's a technology expert, and he was a co-founder of Sisal Print Manufacturing Company, and also director of one of the AI-based company. And currently, he is heading the business strategy for Bhaskar. So we'll hear from Mr. Ravi Ranjan about the technology initiatives that Bhaskar is really doing shortly. So with this, I now request Mr. Prerak Sethi just to give the welcome address. Mr. Prerak, over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Das. Hi, everyone. My name is Prerak Sethi. I'm one of the co-founders of the India Insurtech Association and also the founder of NIA Insurance. The India Insurtech Association is excited to partner with the National Insurance Academy to organize this event today. First, let me spend a couple of quick minutes to introduce the India Insurtech Association to all the participants here. The India Insurtech Association, or IIA, started as a conversation between Shwetank Verma, Subhajit Mandal and me in August 2020. While Insurtech is a hot topic of conversation amongst the insurance ecosystem in India, we found that there was no formal body driving interactions between startups, companies, and professionals within the space. And when we looked outside of India, we found that practically every other region or country had an Insurtech association. And so we found this is a not-for-profit that brings together startups, insurers, reinsurers, policymakers, service providers, and insurance professionals onto a single platform. As we started this organization, we also outlined a high-level mission and a set of objectives for ourselves. Some of these are: 1, facilitate partnerships between startups and the broader insurance industry, such as insurers, reinsurers, service providers, and investors. 2, help Indian insurtech companies to access global markets. 3, connect Indian insurtech startups with insurance industry experts, such as the ones from NIA, not just from within India, but also from outside of India. 4, be the independent voice of the insurtech ecosystem to engage with policymakers to foster forward-looking policies. 5, publish and promote thought leadership. And 6, promote initiatives which use technology to increase the insurance penetration across different socioeconomic segments of India in a more equitable way. The growth for us has been great. In under 2 years, we've now got over 140 members. Amongst our different initiatives, we've recently published our second annual report, called India Insurtech Landscape and Trends in collaboration with BCG, which is available on our website. We've also organized our first annual event in April 2022, which was attended by NIA and had over 230 participants from the Insurtech industry. And we also help our startups by collaborating with Insurtech associations similar to us globally, such as Insurtech New York, Insurtech Australia, Italian Insurtech Association, Insurtech Israel, etc. And then finally, we've continued to do thought leadership events on various topics related to Insurtech, for example, the event here today. NIA and Mr. Srinivasan have supported IIA's initiative since the beginning, and we're proud to have an MOU with them. In fact, one such activity is the NIA IIA Marsh Hackathon, a one-of-its-kind initiative to promote innovation in the insurance value chain and to find solutions that address the issue of underpenetration of insurance in India. By the way, this hackathon is live right now, and we're accepting applications till July 31st. So if your company has not applied for this, please do. Please look at it, contact us, and we can help you get registered. Now to switch gears and the topic for today. Dr. Das has already given an amazing introduction, but really quickly, everyone in our industry recognizes that MSMEs in India are significantly underinsured across products such as group health, property insurance such as fire burglary cover, liability covers, marine insurance, etc. While Insurtech companies in India have focused on innovation in the retail lines, we've still not seen significant Insurtech innovation in MSME lines of business, except for maybe some innovation in group health or employee benefits. We do, however, expect this to change in the next 18 months. We are seeing a number of new Indian Insurtech Association members that are coming up that are focused on MSME segments. These Insurtech companies, by the way, now focus on rethinking the design of MSME insurance products. They are doing more granular pricing and underwriting than ever before, including using data, by the way, for example, from an MCA, from a GST for underwriting. They're reimagining distribution by making MSME distribution purely digital and paperless, which has not really been the case at all if you traditionally look at our industry. And then finally, they're even bringing innovations like saying parametric insurance for small claims. The depth and variety of these ideas is amazing. And so we look forward to hearing more about these innovations today. I would like to thank Mr. G. Srinivasan again for moderating today's panel. And now I'll hand the stage back to you, Dr. Das, to start the proceeding. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Prerak Sethi, for a wonderful introduction and setting the tone. So now I request our Director, G. Srinivasan sir, to deliver the inaugural address.
Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you, Dr. Das, for the introduction. I must thank Prerak and Insurtech Association of India for all the support they've been giving us for the last few months and coming out a lot of activities which is relevant to the Indian insurance sector. I also thank all the speakers who have taken time off to be part of this panel discussion. And a very interesting and important subject on digital innovation in MSME insurance. I'll just say a couple of sentences on National Insurance Academy before I really talk a few words on the subject. Some of you would know that National Insurance Academy was set up almost 4 decades ago as an institution of eminence in the field of insurance education, research, and training. We have a couple of activities. One is we train through short-term executive development programs, a large number of insurance professionals, both from India and abroad. Every year we train about 6,000 insurance professionals on various aspects of pure domain insurance subjects, management subjects, technology. We also run a 2-year PGDM, which is equivalent to MBA in management with focus on insurance. So, I mean, this year we have been permitted to have about 180 students, and every year we have a 100% placement track record. And these students, the last 16 years we have been coming out with these students, have been occupying key positions in the insurance sector, both in India and abroad. Today, you would be surprised to see many of our alumni in key leadership positions, driving innovation in the insurance space in many parts of the world. And we're really proud of our alumni strength in the insurance sector. We also do research and consultancy on insurance. So these are broadly our activities. One of the important roles National Insurance Academy has been playing is to provide some kind of policy inputs to the Government of India as well as to the regulator. So we participate in many of the committees of IRDAI, and also whenever the government wants some ideas, they really look to us. So we have been really very proud to play an important role in shaping the destiny of insurance sector in our country. So coming to the subject on MSME insurance is a very important subject. Dr. Das very nicely, explained about the importance of MSME sector in our country. It contributes in a very big way to the GDP of the country, very importantly in terms of job creation. So one of the challenges India faces is, unemployment and job opportunities for, for the educated people of this country. I think MSME sector is one of those sectors which provides a lot of employment opportunities. That way, it's very, very critical for the Indian economy. And government has also been, providing a lot of, support and assistance, very focused on growing this sector because of the importance of the sector to the Indian economy. But the last 2 years, we have seen the COVID period has been a very challenging period for the MSME sector. Some of them had to face serious problems. Some of them had to go out of business because they didn't have revenues. There were health issues. But I'm confident that these are driven by entrepreneurs. The MSME sector is largely entrepreneurial driven, so they will all come back and do very well to contribute to the growth of the Indian economy. Coming to the risk side, we have seen MSMEs are exposed to many risks. We have seen them, fire accidents, cyclones and floods, MSMEs getting impacted. We've seen during the COVID period, healthcare issues, and they didn't have any policies. Liability covers, which are very important. Many of them don't really have. So these are some of the serious risks MSMEs are exposed to. And as we know, most of the MSMEs in our country are either uninsured or underinsured. They only take insurance if there is a financial borrowing from a bank or a financial institution, and they're compelled to take insurance. And even when they take that kind of an insurance, it's not for full amount. They just take for whatever loan they have taken, and even the banks do not really understand whether the MSMEs are adequately insured, fully insured. And if they're not fully insured, if any loss happens, they're not going to get full compensation. So this is a challenge, and I've seen MSMEs going out of business because of one of those, a flood loss or a cyclone loss or a fire loss. They're not insured, and they not only the entrepreneur goes out of business, a lot of employees also lose their employment. So clearly, MSMEs need insurance, and the insurance sector has to really find a way of making them fully and adequately insured. So we really look at what is the challenge, what is the issue. One is, of course, awareness. Many of them don't even know about the various insurance products which are available. They don't know how to take insurance, how to fix the sum insured, what kind of policies are available. So awareness is one issue. I think probably the insurance sector has to play a very important role, not only on the concept of insurance, but also the various products which can really mitigate the kind of risks MSMEs face. For example, health is a very important aspect of the whole scheme of things. Many of them don't have policies for their employees, and if the employees get into a hospitalization scenario, they're not able to meet out those kind of bills. So awareness is one important point. The second challenge is the insurance industry has been dishing out the traditional products to MSMEs also. I think we need different kinds of products. The MSMEs, I don't think should be forced upon to take the normal traditional products which big companies take. So I think the industry has to come out with MSME specific products, some small ticket bite-sized products, and also packages. And I think we need to come out with some package covers, because I don't think they have the time to take various policies, some 50 policies. So we need to come out with some interesting package policies which will cover most of their risks. So product innovation is also very, very important. The third is servicing. How do you onboard an MSME? See, people know about insurance. I see in India today, people know about insurance. But the question is, they're not going to take the trouble of approaching an intermediary, approaching an insurance company and take policies. I think MSMEs are also in the same space. So we need to make onboarding of insurance very simple, and also settlement of claims very easy. There's a general perception, you may take policies, but then the insurers getting an insurance claim is very, very difficult. So we need to remove that fear from their minds. convince them that in the whole process of claiming can be painless, it can be very simple. I think this is where technology and digital can play a very important role, either in terms of awareness creation or product innovation or servicing. I think digital can play a very, very important role, and if we succeed in that, then clearly I'm sure all the MSMEs will take insurance policies because it's very, very important for them. See, the big companies can always afford to bear losses. Even if they don't have adequate insurance, they have the wherewithal to bear losses. Whereas MSMEs, if they face a loss, they're going to be out of business. Their employees are going to be out of their employment. So there is clearly a very important social need to bring insurance to MSMEs. Clearly a technology solution needed to bring insurance to MSMEs. We can also piggyback on some of the portals which the government of India today has rolled out for MSMEs. I think they are all being used. Whether we can, build insurance into those portals so that the MSMEs can very seamlessly take insurance policies. I think these are some of the key points. I'm glad that insurer and two Insurtech entrepreneurs are here. We'll be very happy to hear from them, and I'm sure the webinar will bring many interesting, relevant inputs for the for everyone. Thank you very much.
So thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful introduction of the topic, and as well as sharing what are the challenges in ensuring the MSME sector, what kind of products and servicing requirements that MSME has, how do we really customize to their requirements. Thanks for setting the tone for the webinar, sir. And friends, now we start the discussion. Now we have three of the panel speakers with us. Mr. Vikas Anand from the SafeTree, and Mr. Hemant Luthra from Edelweiss, and Mr. Ravi Ranjan from Bhaskar. So we'll start. I'll start the webinar with a starting question to Mr. Vikas Anand. Sir, we had just come to know that MSME sector. On the one side, it's a very important sector contributing to the economy, and they are contributing over 37% of our GDP, and also providing like 12 crore the people under the employment. So one of the largest sector which is providing the employment to millions of people. And I know that your company is developing a lot of innovative solutions to really cater to the MSME insurance requirements. So would like to hear from you, how do you perceive in the next 3 years the MSME sector will grow, and what are the challenges that you foresee?
Thank you, Dr. Das. Thank you, NIA, Mr. Srinivasan, Mr. Sethi from IIA. For giving us an opportunity. At SafeTree, we believe in simplifying insurance. Insurance, as we know, is a highly complex product, and we want, through technology and tools, we want to smoothen the process of buying insurance. So, as rightly said, sir, MSME is a significant portion of our ecosystem, of our economic GDP. Also, very important, interesting aspect is 99% of the 6.3 crore MSME belong to micro segment. And as rightly emphasized by Mr. Srinivasan, if something happens to the entity, it's lost. It's lost. And when I look into why in spite of such an important product like insurance, which is available at such a cheap price, why people are not buying. So we did a survey, and in terms of the penetration, our understanding is nearly 5% of the MSME market is insured. 95% of the market is not insured. So I'll tell you, I was talking to one gentleman. He has over 100 crores of business. and they get their motor insurance done. So I was just talking about liability insurance, cyber insurance, and the MD of this company, he said, what are those? He in 2 minutes said, I don't need it. So it just comes back to the lack of knowledge, lack of awareness. While they may be understanding there is a threat, but they still don't realize that that could be a threat to their business. I was reading one article, it mentioned in next 5 years, 5 to 10 years, cyber insurance market would be as big as motor insurance. That's the kind of prediction being made. And it doesn't surprise any of us because the way cyber crimes are increasing, it will be imperative for all of us, even at an individual level, to buy a cyber insurance given the penetration of e-commerce. So if I look into it, in our understanding, the reasons why MSME don't go for insurance is first is the awareness problem. Second is we have what we believe is as of now, there isn't any specialist who can guide them. The maximum they'll buy is a fire insurance, and Mr. Srinivasan rightly said of the MSME segments clients we have met, they have only bought to the extent of the loan. And many of them, they don't have even the insurance policy. So when I talk about is your cover sufficient in case from a reinstatement perspective, they have no idea. So they just bought to the extent of the loan they have taken, which is a huge risk. Then the third reason why it's not popular is the process. When we had interaction with MSME, they say the kind of form I have to fill, it's difficult. Whether it's for fire insurance, cyber insurance, all those kind of information you ask for it's complicated. And coupled with you don't have a specialist person who can help them, it makes the task of buying insurance even more difficult. And finally, we know it's not on the top of their perspective. So having said that, I believe things are changing, and particularly post-COVID, there has been a realization that there is a need for insurance. If I were to talk about one data point, nearly 80% of the restaurants and small size hotels, they stopped their business post-COVID, 80%. And if there was some kind of insurance, they could have helped. So definitely there is a realization in the market that there is a need for insurance, and this is not Indian data. If I see the data across the world, even in the other developing countries, particularly if I take an example of China, there is an increased demand of insurance. So there was recently a survey done by an international agency where it said 61% of small scale industries in China are looking for insurance. They have realized that post-COVID, there is definitely a need for insurance going forward. So definitely, I believe there would be an increase in demand from a SME segment in India. I do believe the risks which will be on top of fire would be business interruption risk. Definitely, they will be looking for it. There will be a cyber insurance requirement, pandemic insurance. So these kind of insurance, specialized product, a combo product, as Mr. Srinivasan mentioned, would be the one which will be needing, will be the requirements of insurance. Secondly, what I feel is with the new young entrepreneurs coming in our interaction, they believe price is more than the price. Advice is more important. So despite our traditional belief that the price is number one driver for buying insurance, we believe going forward, the SME insurance, it will be important that their decision would be based on other factors in addition to the price. They'll look into the quality of advice, including what kind of coverage they provide, price, trust, claim services, all those aspects beyond price would become important. And the players who would be able to provide comprehensive solutions, comprehensive advice from start to end, which takes care of the all requirements of the insurance sector, that will be the one who will flourish. So as at Safety, what we do is we have identified for each of the segment key industries, what are the possible risks they can have in their industry, what could be insurance solutions, and how can that be done. So we have tried to identify for each of the industry, the key risks, their solutions from insurance industry, and how it can be done. Third, I believe this is a trend which has started in insurtechs in UK, in China, and I believe India would be not very far away, which is demand for insurance services which are other than insurance. So basically non-insurance services, SME segment want cover plus. So what does that mean is that they are looking for insurance provider who can provide insurance solutions which are beyond just insurance coverage. For example, I'm buying a cyber insurance. Can I have some kind of advice on cyber security? I'm buying a fire and business disruption policy. Can there be certain advice on systemic risk my organization is facing because of the industry? Or a general gyan on risk management. So these kind of things, that is what SME is looking for, and particularly within the startup space, they are looking for, I would say, cover plus kind of a services which can provide a complete solution when it comes to managing the risk. Also, I believe the way things are moving in India, there would be a increased digital buying of insurance. Post-COVID, definitely we have seen across the segments of the economy that the demand of buying through digital platform is increasing, and I believe SME insurance would be also the factor which will be looking for digital solutions when it comes to buying their insurance needs. Any provider who provides best services, good quality services at a fair price will be the one who would be looking forward. And also, basis what's happening across the world, I do believe there would be an interest by the SME in engaging with non-traditional players. Insurtech could be an example where there was a survey in China where 90% of the SME felt that they could buy from any Insurtech basis, online retailer, a bank assurance who provide them digital solutions. So to summarize that, sir, I believe these will be the 4-5 factors which would come in Indian space also: digital, quality services, players providing cover plus, and non-traditional fields like cyber and other players, which liability insurance, where there will be increased demand from the SME segment.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Vikas, for sharing not only how do you foresee the MSME insurance will develop in the next 2 to 3 years, but also you had mentioned about what are their expectations, what do they actually expect from the insurance companies, what kind of insurance solutions will really meet their requirement. Thank you very much. You comprehensively you put it. Yeah, so I will just now switch to Mr. Hemant Luthra. Sir, now we heard from Mr. Vikas, the MSME, their insurance requirements are different. As we see that the type of risk that they really, encounter, they are different from the commercial sector. So how do you see what are the insurance challenges that you see while approaching the MSME? So what is your perception about what kind of insurance the products that we can really customize to the MSME sector? How do we really approach them? What are the challenges that you encounter while insuring MSME?
I personally believe, or we at EGIC believe, is that MSME is a big opportunity. Earlier people used to look at MSME sector as much of as a challenge because of the spread, the volume, the distribution challenges that it gets to you, etc. But now I think the time has come that the entire industry, everybody, not only insurance but other people, are also looking at MSME as a big opportunity, right? So while we look at the volumes that we all spoke about, say 6.3 crore MSME, about 37% of GDP, it's a big number, right? I mean, a big opportunity for that matter. Currently, these people are struggling with a lot of other issues, and insurance kind of takes a backseat, both in terms of awareness, in terms of priority, and in terms of expertise also for that matter, right? While these people are struggling by struggling in terms of financial expertise and in terms of access to financial solutions, etc., insurance is the last thing that comes in their head, on their mind, right? And more interestingly, if you realize that most of these people or the entrepreneurs that we see on the MSME side, they have started this business by investing their lifetime savings, or they would have borrowed some money to kind of kickstart this business. That is why it becomes even more important that they understand the difference between a P&L risk and a balance sheet risk, right? For a large organization, even if there is a small fire or an incident, etc., of this magnitude, they will be able to survive. But by design, the small size and the scale at which the MSMEs operate, it is actually a balance sheet risk that they carry all the time, right? So that's a common discussion that we would always have at our workspace, right? Would you want to buy a higher deductible? That's the P&L risk, or you don't want to buy a cover, which is the balance sheet risk, correct? So that's how we kind of see it. We believe that it is very, very important for us to make sure that these people who have put in their lifetime savings, etc., get access to right kind of insurance, right kind of awareness, and maybe the platforms where they can understand, they can do it themselves. That kind of insurance is important for them. Currently, I believe there is also a dearth of comprehensive solutions that are being provided by us, like an insurance industry or the intermediaries or the other Insurtech partners, which is important for us to understand. Okay, so while because you said that about 99% of the MSME is still micro, right? So then the simplification of the product is very, very important, because you can't go and make them understand the nitty-gritties of the product or the wordings, etc., to 99% of 6.3 crore people. Very difficult. So yeah, your insurance products have to be very simple, have to be very friendly, very transparent, and very affordable for these guys to be even thinking about it, to be even excited about saying that we want to buy insurance for our own business. So that's the kind of thought process that we see. Okay, so if I have to get you down to say the micro insurances, then I think the packages are the best way of getting into it. We should all be filing maybe a one master package policy and customizing it to the occupancy or the kind of business that each of these enterprises run, right? So whether it is an asset insurance towards breakdown, fire, maybe loss of profit, then maybe your nat cat covers, maybe your marine insurances, all these typically will be required by a manufacturing unit. Then you might require, if there is a servicing unit, then their requirements will be very different. They might be very low on the asset base, but very high on the liabilities that they can carry with them. Okay, so that's how we should actually identify certain sectors, maybe 50, 60 sectors, and devise the OTC products for them, right? While you devise the OTC products, I would also further say that maybe you can do it on a do-it-yourself kind of model, right? On the website, on the platforms, you can tell them what is the kind of recommended covers that you want. We still do not tell them the insurance value that they want to buy, but at least you can tell them the recommended covers that are there. Then they can keep on deciding the sum insured values and keep on calculating the premiums, etc., or the simulating claim scenarios, and understand what fits best for them. That's the approach I believe that we should take. This I've already, I'm speaking around most of non-health, but towards health also, if you move, I think one package policy which comprises both non-health and health will be even a simpler thing to offer. They can simply put the number of people that they want to insure, and they get the premium and pay the premium and move out in one single policy. That's it. Yeah. So generally the risk classes will remain the same. It is only how we treat it, what kind of limits, what kind of deductibles, etc., and how simple can we make it will make sense going forward.
Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Hemant. Thanks for stating the necessity of how do we simplify the product, the importance of understanding the MSME needs, insurance needs, as they are different, and also how do we really provide better services to them and package the policies, customize the insurance solutions to their requirement are very important. Yeah, so I will now move over to Mr. Ravi Ranjan. Mr. Ravi Ranjan comes with a technology background, so I just start with the technology related questions. Mr. Ravi, we know that the Insurtech companies are doing a lot of innovation, digital innovation, recent times on the insurance space. So what is your experience relating to that? How do you see that the next 2 to 3 years? So what kind of digital innovation your company has been doing in the space of insurance solution?
Sure, sir. Thank you for the opportunity, sir, for to speak here. I think I'll start with a brief introduction of what we do, and then I'll address the question. So at Basket, what we're building is we're building an Insurtech and employee benefits platform for MSMEs. I mean, particularly focused on SMBs, what we call internally here. The idea is what we're going to do is, see, the adoption of technology has already started across all the other modules. Banking is now coming online, right? Earlier we used to use Tally, now we're using more technology tools which is available on the app itself, right? So we built one side of platform for the employer, which is could be a founder or a director or a proprietor, where they can manage all the things that they have. And the second part, we have built solutions also for employees. So that we are basically trying to increase the connectivity. Now, sir, coming back to the question, right, how technology helps. I think and all the esteemed speakers were mentioning about the awareness. So what we have understood as a startup is insurance is about awareness, about data management, and at the end, in the worst times, about claims, right? So our experience with MSME says that everybody hopes for the best times, but nobody is preparing for the worst times, right? So that is why we have to compel them to buy a product, right? So what we are trying to do is we are trying to solve the last mile effort here. When I say last mile, it's like the delivery problem, the affordability problem, the accessibility problem, right? So we are bringing all of this, like we were mentioning that the policy terms and the insurance are difficult. Very simple approach we are having. Let's say if the policy copy comprises of say 30 pages, we have brought it down into 6 to 8 cards, simple cards with illustrations to show what it actually means, right? Very simple step, but it is driving a lot of innovation. I mean, a lot of accessibility. People are able to understand the policy on a higher level in very short terms, and then are able to take those purchase decisions, right? We were talking about, we are working very closely with Hemant sir also, their products, right? So the idea is to deliver them in a manner that these people can understand. And as I think all of us were speaking that there's a large amount, which is 99% of which are MSMEs. The idea is to only, I mean, we as a company believe that digital is the only method in which we can reach each one of them by sitting at certain pockets only, right? One of the BCG reports came in, like, let's look at all the mediums. We have banca insurance for selling, we have retail agents, corporate agents, corporate brokers, right? All of these places we throw people to the each of these MSMEs to cater to the solutions. However, what we have seen is BCG mentions that at 1/5 of the cost, digital methods can deliver these policies to the people, right? So we are riding on that. Trying to package things up, simplifying and presenting it very simple, right? So if you go in the very last chain, very simple ways of presenting the policies, you just customize a little. We have offered solutions where you customize number of people, you're customizing the size of value business that you do and all of those. And then you automatically start seeing the range in which your costs will come in. At some cases, even the exact costs which you can purchase then and there, right? So of course, the idea is that to replace the knowledge part, which is because this industry, as I was mentioning in the earlier call also, it's a very knowledge heavy part, trying to replace that with very simple features so that people in less than 5 to 10 seconds get the overall picture, and it generates interest to them for them to then go deeper and buy these products. Okay. Again, second part comes is, sir, if you look at, like I've been in my last stint also, we were working very closely with manufacturing companies. Very profound businessman told us that unless you are solving the top 2 problems, people will not buy the solution, right? So the top two problems, let's look at what is the top two problem for the MSMEs. One, of course, to get more business. Second is to get their payments on time. Because insurance, I mean, as I said, we don't prepare for the worst times, does not solve the two. We are compelled to sell them, we have to compel them to buy it. What we are also trying to do is we are pushing ourselves through technology in places where they are buying something else, right? And they find a small cost. If they add to the same thing, they can buy insurance as well, right? So trying to drive penetration through technology in places wherein it would not be feasible to reach through individuals, or let's say through banks or through corporate agents or through retail agents, because the cost viability will not factor in. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ravi. Thanks for telling what Bhaskar is doing about customizing the products, but also simplifying the process for the MSME so that they can understand insurance. They can also buy. How we can really onboard the MSME for insurance buying. Thanks for sharing that. Very interesting to know. And so I'll come back to the second round. My question to Mr. Vikas is, sir, you have been around the world. You know what is happening in UK, in Europe, and in India also. Maybe I believe that next 2 to 3 years we will move towards that kind of an innovative solutions, what we call embedded insurance or the parametric solutions. And I just would like to know from you that how do you foresee the embedded insurance solutions or the parametric solutions will evolve over the next 2 to 3 years? Particularly, I want to hear from you that how the embedded insurance solutions that you see would provide an opportunity, for insurers or for Insurtech companies, because as you can really bundle it together with the various product and the service offering. And it is one of the largest insurance solutions in China. So, and Europe and France, in other markets also, it is really gaining a lot of importance. So I would like to hear from you that first to tell us about what is embedded insurance and parametric insurance, and how do you see what kind of developments would take place in India about that?
Thank you. Embedded and parametric are a complete session in itself, so I'll try to give justice to it. So both these products help us to solve a problem. Embedded solution helps the problem because, as we know, insurance is something which nobody wants, but everyone needs it. And parametric insurance, so that's why embedded would be very, very popular. And parametric is because it solves a problem which is a challenge with the user of the insurance products. The problem being the uncertainty in the minds of customer that at the time of the claims, whether I'll get the amount, whether it will be admissible. So if I'm able to give a product which takes away the confusion or the kind of uncertainty in the mind of a customer in terms of admissibility or in terms of the amount, the customer would be very happy to do that. So here where parametric solutions comes in. So now first coming to the embedded. So as you rightly said, embedded is you embed insurance within another product. So I'll take an example for the benefit of participants. So a simple product, you go and go to Lenskart, you buy your specs, and along with that, the Lenskart offers you insurance which can protect your specs and the glasses beyond the warranty period. That's it. It would be very cheap. You get a simple, easy solution. You make the payment and it's done. So that's the kind of an advantage. In China, it has come up in a big way, you rightly said, and it is expected that P&C market by 2030 would be $700 billion through embedded insurance. It's expected China would have 50% of their insurance products sold through embedded in next 8 to 10 years. So that's the power of the insurance, because everyone needs, but we don't buy about. So when you merge as a part of a wider offering, it becomes easy, it gets solved. And also, I believe currently, which has not been used effectively as an embedded insurance proposition, is by FFCG players. They can provide as a part of our offering, may not be, they may not charge, but they may just take as a part of a marketing budget, add a proposition to their product and offer it free of cost. I'll tell you, we did embedded insurance for one of the doctor appointment apps. So the way it works is every doctor has to pay a subscription charge. In that subscription charge, which is very similar to what other market leaders are paying, what they did was you pay the subscription cost, the doctor has to pay that subscription charge, and within that subscription charge, as a value add, they said the doctors would also be getting a professional indemnity insurance of 10 lakh rupees. So they took it as a cost and provided it as a competitive advantage to other apps that you buy my app from a doctor appointment app and you get an additional advantage. So I believe there is a huge opportunity available through technology, through better pricing, because it's done on a mass scale. The pricing is much better, and I strongly believe that what we talk about a protection gap, a huge $10 trillion of protection gap we have across the world, it could be solved through innovative problems, innovative solutions like embedded insurance. Now moving to the next, parametric. So parametric, what it helps to solve is that it removes the ambiguity in the minds of the customer when it comes to claim. When we talk to our customers that what is the biggest challenge they fear when they buy an insurance, they say is because we don't know whether we'll get the amount or not. If I get hospitalized or if there is a motor insurance, whether I'll get that amount. So that's the biggest fear buyers of customer have when they buy insurance products. So if we define a kind of parameters that if these events happen, there would be amount paid directly into your account, it will solve the problems, and the kind of a confusion, the ambiguity the customers have, that would be removed. So I'll give you 2 examples. In crop insurance, in cattle insurance, these parametric products are getting very, very active. So for example, we are working on a proposition where if the milk from a cattle is reduced. So milk of a cattle gets impacted by the humidity and the temperature of the location. So if there is a product, a parametric product, that if the temperature goes above this, there is a humidity above this, which can be verified through independent sources. And if the farmer has bought that product and we are able to verify those parameters are being done through an independent weather agency, the money goes directly into the account of that farmer. So with net banking, with digital banking solutions, it goes directly into account. So I personally believe that these kind of propositions, when it comes, it will definitely improve the trust of the customers on the insurance company. And with these kind of seamless payments happening, it will be a very big opportunity. The task would be the technology coming with those data points which can help insurance companies devise that product in a profitable manner.
Yeah, so thank you, sir. Thanks for providing a lot of information relating to the embedded insurance as well as the parametric insurance. And I believe these two will drive in the coming years the Indian market. And already we had developed the parametric solutions for flood insurance in the northeastern states, one of the northeastern areas. I think Susri has developed the product. and very sure that in the coming years, lot of risk, every risk can be developed through the parametric solutions. Thank you very much for sharing that. So I move over to Mr. Hemant. Mr. Hemant, you know that most important products when we look at from the MSME or the group health insurance and the employee benefit cover, and also I understand that the cyber insurance, also the demand for cyber insurance is also increasing. And what do you think, I mean, based on your experience, that what kind of simple product solutions that you believe that MSME really will go for it? How do we really improve the accessibility for them to buy insurance? So I just want you to, and what kind of regulatory changes that we need to bring in, because there again, another important area is the credit risk protection. For MSME, one of the important risk is credit risk, particularly because liquidity risk, finance risk is the major risk for them, and what kind of product actually you really have to really mitigate that financial risk for the MSME. Over to you, sir.
Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll break my answer into 3-4 points. So financial risk or the risk of receivables is something that I missed in my earlier conversation. I had written it down saying that if I get a chance, I will come back to it. So that's a big risk for any MSME. The kind of exposures, etc., that we so sometimes in the just for increasing the business, etc., they can even give they are tempted to give some kind of post-payment guarantees, etc., to the buyer, from the taking post-payment guarantees from the buyers, etc. And then if that cycle kind of becomes too long, it becomes difficult for them to survive, right? So we have seen that the demand for trade credit insurance has gone up in the last few years, especially from the MSME buyers, which was unusual, because all this while what the credit insurance is always bought by the large players. But now the MSME players are using it both in terms of securing themselves against the receivables and also to increase their business, because the comprehensive product of credit insurance can also give you evaluation of the buyers or the financial health of the new buyers in new markets that you want to get into, right? So that kind of helps both ways, these SMEs to increase their business and secure themselves against the receivable issue. So that's one part of it. Once the whole cycle kind of improves for them, the working capital requirement goes down. By the working capital requirement goes down, I think they can expand more, they can do more business with more people, etc., etc. So that kind of helps. Secondly, coming to the employee benefit requirement. So no doubt, this is one of the biggest requirements that any sector for that matter has. People are more important. While we see that we're talking about micro or MSMEs, the number of people that they would have will be limited in the organization, and absence of any one of them or kind of affects the productivity. That is one. Second is more often than not, the owner or the entrepreneur ends up paying for that particular sickness or hospitalization. So that's another financial hit to the business, right? So what I personally believe that most of these employers would not or would avoid buying health insurance due to 2-3 factors. One significant being the affordability, right? I believe Ravi will agree with me on this. So affordability becomes a big issue. We should look at devising 3 or 4 kind of different programs, right? So one program is that if we can take some deferred payments from them, not upfront, but maybe give them some kind of installment facility, etc. That's one. Second is we should we believe that OPD expenses are much more than IPD for every person who's involved. So can we develop a product which is cashless OPD. That's what we're working on now, and maybe another 1.5 months we should have some kind of news coming your way. That will, in a predefined amount, will help you take care of your OPD expenses through the year, and that too on cashless basis. So, and it is irrespective of the PIN code or the area that you're staying in. So, giving you access to quality care would also mean that you will, the employees will not end up at a hospital and not being converted into YPD, which is a higher ticket item, right? Then we can maybe even look at building up critical illness product on indemnity basis, right? So while the owner or the entrepreneur will avoid paying for the regular medical expenses or medical procedures that happen at the hospital, but pay only for the critical illnesses. So the high ticket items is what the insurance will take care of. The regular items will be borne by the employees themselves. Then we can maybe look at some kind of long-term plans for these. As of now, the insurances are only an annual program, but to give them some kind of a comfort cost analysis, if we can look at long-term plans or associations with them, I think it will ease out the stress at the insurance companies level as well. Right? We can price it nicely and better. Second, we can do a deductible based or a top-up kind of policies for them, which will also make it affordable for these guys. Bye. So that's on the employee benefit side. And in fact, I also believe that wellness is an important factor.
Yeah, that's right.
For these kind of people. So if you look at the people who are working on the workshops, etc., they are prone to some kind of health hazards or the professional hazards at the shop floor, etc. The kind of material that they use or dust, etc., that they are exposed to. There, I believe, an offering with one annual health checkup in a year, comprehensive health checkup in a year will be important for these guys to understand what's the overall health. If we are able to, figure out somebody who is a borderline diabetic, borderline, have a cardiac issues or cholesterol issues, etc., we can give them some kind of a intervention program. With those intervention program, we can track the compliance over the next 1.5 to 3 months, etc., and see, what kind of improvement happens in that particular person. So while that happens, we are basically avoiding the future claims, and thus again making it affordable for the employer in the long run. Right? And I believe, Dr. Sir, your last point was around the regulatory aspect.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
I think of what we could do. So we could actually, I would rather say that if penetration can increase by two ways. One is, whatever effort we as an insurance company can put in, or an insurance ecosystem basically, whether it's the partners or the insurance company, whatever distribution we can build, we can reach out to as many people. That's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is we kind of incentivize people to buy insurance and help them and make it as a compliance part for these MSMEs, like the other pieces, right? So that will help, one, increase the penetration. Second is to kind of apportion the cost. It will become more affordable. Right. So these are the things which are important. I believe that there will be a lot of information exchanges or pseudo information which can be available about an MSME, their financial health, etc., turnover, which also gives comfort to the insurance companies. And then we can devise like a motor policy. We give an insurance in 3 clicks. We can even give you a package policy in 3 clicks.
Okay.
Right. So those information exchanges need to be developed. That is other one. Secondly, so one more thing is that intermediary wise, I think the distribution is still limited to tier 1, tier 2, and max maybe tier 3. Tier 3 is also very minimal. So can we look at some kind of incentive or some kind of a model where we can take it to tier 3, tier 4 kind of, or maybe towns kind of scenario where we can distribute, because most of these MSMEs could be in the interior parts of the country. And last but not least, I think one package product which should allow both health as well as non-health, products to be sold in one particular policy. I think that will be a big change. We unfortunately do not have any product or any distribution as of now for the unorganized sector. Right, that's another challenge that will come with this while we move towards selling more and more towards the MSME side. So we need to take care of that as well. So this would actually mean that a lot of relaxation will have to be given on the claim side.
Claim side, okay.
Yeah, because of the kind of documentation, etc., that may be available at the unorganized level. That will impact the quality of the claim servicing.
True, very much. Yeah. So, thank you.
Doctor.
Yeah. So thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing the importance of the product customization, particularly around the employee benefits cover, and also combining with the group health cover. And wellness, you also stated the importance of wellness insurance, and also trade credit. The demand for trade credit insurance is picking up among the MSME. Thank you very much for sharing that. Yeah, I'll come to Mr. Ravi. Mr. Ravi, you have the tech background. You had also worked earlier in the AI-based company. Now, my question to you is, the Insurtech companies are using a huge amount of the technological solutions, applications, particularly whether it's AI or ML or documentation, image analysis. All these applications now are being used practically in the insurance business. So what is your company doing? I mean, particularly with the digital innovation? Just to like to hear from you. Mr. Ravi, you are mute. Please unmute. Yeah.
I think he's not able to unmute.
Yeah, Mr. Amol, can you please help Ravi to unmute?
What happened, sir?
Yeah, Ravi is not able to unmute.
Now? No, sir.
Okay, is there some issue? Oh, okay, we'll come back to you, Mr. Ravi, maybe just a little later. Yeah, yeah. So my question is to Mr. Vikas. Sir, now I just want to understand from you. I think the role of government and the regulator plays very important role in improving the penetration among the MSME sector, micro as well as the SME sector, right? So what is your thought on the regulatory initiatives, or what kind of a support do you think that the government should provide to the MSME sector, so that not only the financial credit problem is resolved, but also the insurance, as Mr. Hemant also suggested, probably, we can't collect premium in installments. That's one issue, because affordability is issue for the MSME. So what is your suggestions relating to that?
I believe from a support first at a macro level has been good. I am aware that the government of India has come up with various policies which promote procurement from MSME segment. I understand that up to 200 crores of any procurement, it has to be undertaken domestically, and also there is a platform available where MSME vendors can register, and there would be a drive by Indian government to buy the product. So I believe at a macro level, definitely there is a proper support mechanism available. The The motive is to increase MSME and for right reasons. When it comes to regulatory framework in the country, I believe IRDA has been proactive in this step. They had started with a sandbox approach a couple of years back, and over the years they have made doing insurance easy. They have relaxed the insurance regulations, even pay as you go for motor insurance, which was under sandbox for last couple of years, has been approved. So those aspects from a regulatory perspective have been liberalized. We definitely can see a change happening with the new chairman coming in. Definitely, I believe he has been very proactive. He has started engagement with the Insurtech players. He is very keen to take it to the next level, and with the agenda he has set for the insurance companies in terms of the penetration, I believe it's moving in a right direction. Currently, the platform is ready, which can ensure the growth of the Insurtech company in the country.
So thank you, sir. Thanks for your suggestions relating to the government and the regulatory support for the development of the MSME. Yeah. So, Mr. Ravi, I'll come back to you now. Yeah, your question. Can we stop?
Yes, sir. Sorry, I was unable to unmute at that point of time. So, sir, the question about how the data parameters are coming into play. I think now we have been like individuals, we have now been able to profile MSMEs with data available at multiple sources, right? And as Hemant sir was mentioning, like very simple thing that financial support. So now we have got options wherein we can profile these people, and then we are trying to work with insurance companies. Can we make it into split payments or something like that, which is available to larger companies right now because of the credibility that they have. So the idea is to work around the credibility part. We also understood, as Hemant sir was also mentioning about the OPD, right? So on our platform, I mean, just to give you examples, during the first and the second wave, it took a lot of toll on the mental wellness. Data showed that all our people that we have got in a span of 14 months, about 1.2 lakh users on our platform, these people started looking for mental wellness options. Right? Because the data was available within a couple of weeks, we were able to merge that into our platform itself. So insurance, which the employer was providing, is there, and then the mental wellness options are available where you can take psychotherapy sessions. Third wave happened, and the data started pointing that hospitalizations will be less, and the doctor consultations will go high, and these consultations will go virtual. So that was into the platform. So we are basically using data-driven decisions to understand what is available in the insurance, when they can use it, and allied products that can be brought together by other players. We are also seeing that, I mean, data also shows that the newer players or aggregators that are coming into market are now more concerned, like banks would, for their loans that they are providing, would get some insurance done. Similarly, the newer aggregators are also pushing their people, I mean, people who are using the platform, these proprietors, to use these insurance. I think Vikas was mentioning about Cover Plus, something like that, which can be bundled into the product. And these are also, in some cases, are sponsored by the aggregator themselves, or they subsidize it. So these are all data because these proprietors, MSMEs, are now started presenting themselves on different platforms. Government has started giving us some data. So we are able to profile them better. We are able to understand their needs better, and thus we are able to produce things and features that are required by them better on the platforms.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ravi. Yeah. So friends, I think with this we'll just conclude this webinar. I thank all the three panel speakers for sharing their experience on this very interesting topic, and it was a wonderful discussion that we had. It's a variety of points we could discuss during this just 1 hour. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you. So yeah, thanks to the participants. Really, they were very attentive and putting up the questions, a lot of questions on the board. Thanks for the active participations from the participants. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.